Hello everyone. Today I am going to present my project on evolutionary optimization of deep neural network architectures, which is a study focused on automating the design of neural networks for image classification using evolutionary algorithms. I'll move on to motivation, where the main motivation was designing CNNs manually was a daunting task due to vast design space, which includes choices like number and types of layers, activation functions, filter counts, kernel sizes, and hyperparameters such as learning rates and batch sizes. So, this decision significantly impacted a model's performance and computational cost and training efficiency. Then I move on to project goals, where our primary objective of our project was to automate CNN architecture design using evolutionary algorithms, optimizing three key metrics, which is classification accuracy, model complexity, and training time. We targeted the CIFAR-10 dataset due to its widespread use in image classification research and its moderate complexity, making it an ideal benchmark for testing our evolutionary approach. Then I move on to methodology, where the libraries and tools we have used in the project are Deep, PyTorch, NumPy, and Matplotlib. Then I move on to data preparation, where the CIFAR-10 dataset was split into training set, validation set, and test set. Images were normalized to ranges 0 and 1, and labels were one hot and coded for multi-class classification. To manage computational overhead during initial experiments, we used dataset subsets. The full dataset was employed for final evaluations to ensure robust results. Then I move on to architecture initialization, where the CNN architectures are generally encoded as individuals, with each encoding specifying the layer types, number of layers, activation functions, and layer parameters. Then I move on to the next slide, which is evolutionary algorithm framework. Our algorithm has consist of initialization, fitness evaluation, selection, which consists of tournament selection, which selects the best individual from a random subset of three based on accuracy, promoting rapid exploitation of high performance candidates, and then the lexicase selection, which randomly shuffles objectives and filters individuals based on performance, ensuring diversity, Pareto optimal solutions. Then I move on to fitness evaluation, which is also depends on accuracy, complexity, and training time. Then I have the hybrid selection strategy, chooses tournament selection and lexicase selection and elitism. Then we have the architecture encoding, which have the parameters included as layer type, number of layers, filters, kernel sizes, and activations. We have fitness function multi-objective, which has metrics and weighting examples. Then I'll describe about the experimental setup, where we conducted multiple experiments of population size, generations, crossover probability, and mutation probability. Then I'll move on to results, where we have the key findings of test accuracy of 73.82%, parameters at 30554, and the architecture has three convolutional layers, 16, 64, 64 filters, and ReLU activations. Then we have this much experimental outcomes, as you can see in the slides. Then I'll move on to fitness weighting, which has equal weights and varied weights. And then we have plotted the graph of accuracy over generations and loss over generations. I'll talk about strengths and limitations, where some of the strengths which we have is compact models, where the evolved CNN nearly matches the handcrafted CNN, and then the automation part. I'll briefly describe about the future work which we have, just full training set, training time integration, and visualization. Lastly, I'll conclude my video on demonstrating that the evolutionary algorithms are a powerful tool for automating CNN architecture design, which is by integrating a hybrid selection strategy, tournament and lexicase. We produced a compact CNN with 73.82% test accuracy and only 554 parameters, which nearly matches a handcrafted CNN performance with 90% fewer parameters. Thank you. I conclude my video by saying this.